Hi everyone, it's Alex again. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. So today is day 8 of the 28-day medical medium detox that I have embarked on. And today was a very fun, awesome, exciting day. First of all, I'd like to start off by saying that my migraine is gone, which I'm very, very excited for. That's what I find so amazing and beautiful about the messages that Anthony gets from Spirit. Just to, if you guys don't know who Anthony is, at the age of 4, he started having the spirit of compassion start telling him what was wrong with people and what was, ailing them in their lives, whether it was physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, etc. And since then, as he grew older, he has dedicated his life to giving people those messages that come from the spirit of compassion. So what I love so much about his messages is obviously they're so true. I mean, that's the best thing, is that they're so true and they're so on point and so personal. So for me, when I was guided to his book and I discovered it and I started taking some supplements because I started seeing what was causing my migraines, almost immediately I see the effect. So yesterday, after I remembered that I hadn't been taking my supplements and I hadn't been on top of that, I took it that day that I had the migraine, and then I took it the following day, today, and it's gone. It's that quick that it works when you start taking the supplements that he recommends. And seeing those results, immediate results, is what really led me and inspired me to start really considering and now committing to the 28 days, because I just know that it's going to help me in so many aspects in my life. So today was a very fun day because I actually went out to lunch with friends today, which I'm very proud of that I went ahead and did that. I have amazing supportive friends. So they already knew that I was, going through this detox, and we ended up finding a vegan raw restaurant, which is actually not too hard to find in San Diego area. So I'm very fortunate to live in San Diego and, kind of have that type of lifestyle that already exists here. So we went to the restaurant and I was so excited because I had looked up their menu and I had already kind of picked a couple options that I could have, even doing like a salad with like just lemon instead of doing the dressing. And, they have like cooked food, like cooked vegetables, and to some extent is still considered raw. So I was even still willing to consider that, having it somewhat cooked to some extent. So we went and I was so excited. We get there, we're so hungry. And on one of their, something in me wanted to ask, like, what do they like cook their vegetables in or whatever. And we were all so disappointed to find out that they use canola oil for their dressings, for their coating, to do even the seasonings on the salads and the roasted vegetables. And we had to leave because regardless of the detox, canola oil is the one oil that Anthony highly recommends we always stay away from, because it is not, our bodies are not really meant to process an oil like that. And so we left and we were kind of all still stunned and surprised that here is this restaurant that, the whole vibe is about healthy eating. Especially like vegan raw food. And yet, they're making their food or they're coating it or seasoning or whatever you want to call it with one of the worst oils out there. So that was kind of eye-opening today. I know I reflected in the beginning that, something similar happened at a farmer's market, but that vendor wasn't really like displaying or showing like they have healthy food that they were selling. It just happened to be vegetables, that was part of their menu. But to have a health food restaurant that, claims that and then is using canola oil, it was just surprising. Like, I think I'm still kind of processing the whole thing. We were shocked. So we ended up going somewhere else that thankfully, it's in the Encinitas area, which if any of you guys are from, San Diego, know that there's just so many different options there. So we went to a different place instead. And so first of all, back to the first place, I was very proud of myself for, in the past I would have been maybe kind of embarrassed or felt bad asking or not wanting to be one of those customers, the difficult customers of like, well, what's in your food? And in this process, I want to stay committed to it. And it's like, well, I have a right to ask what is in my food. We have a right to ask that and how it's made and where it comes from and that kind of thing. So I'm very proud and happy that I was willing to ask that question, because it would have been detriment had I after eaten it then found out that that was something. So we went to another restaurant, and so they had kind of like a bigger menu, and it was still health food. And I just went up to the cashier and I said, look, I'm on this detox. I'm, wanting to be committed to it. These are the things I can have. Do you have something on your menu that can, that I can eat? And they did. And they were actually very accommodating and were able to kind of shift some things around in one of the dishes so I can go ahead and enjoy lunch with my friends. And I was very grateful to my friends for being so patient and understanding. And of course, they were able to enjoy their own food, and it was a good experience. So I just want to reflect on that, because I think sometimes we embark on these things in life and we feel like it has to be the right scenario, it has to be the right timing in life, it has to all the stars have to align. And I think sometimes we forget the fact that life is always going to happen. We're spirits in a human body, and therefore having human experiences every single day of our lives. So not every day is going to be perfect, if depending on what your view of perfect is. I mean, I think I would say that every day of my life is perfect, but that's just my perception of what perfect is for my life. So I think sometimes, we're hesitant to do things because oh, well, what are we going to do? I'm not going to be able to go out with friends, or whatever the case may be. And I think sometimes instead of waiting for the perfect situation, I think one of the best things that I've learned in my life is to just commit and go for something, and the situation will become perfect. Family and friends will understand. Situations might, will work out. Like with my husband and I traveling soon, we have the NutriBullet going already set. I have my list for when we get there and how much food I'm going to, buy and keep in. Just setting those things up. Like, I'm creating the perfect experience and environment as I go through these 28 days, not waiting for the perfect scenario or environment to create itself. So I think I really, that really hit home today after going to lunch with my friends and having that experience. So that's been really nice. So yeah, just another awesome day and doing my 28-day detox. I think one of the other things that I'm surprised now going a week through that I have not had, thankfully, is really bad side effects to doing the detox, to extremely changing my diet. And I think a couple factors are in play there. I think the first is that, like I mentioned, I believe yesterday, I had already subscribed to a paleo style of eating for the last few years. So I had already naturally gotten rid of the sugars. And I think even then it wasn't very difficult. And I'm also taking a lot of supplements. I mean, I have literally a basket of supplements that I take, and I have a little routine that I do. And I think by doing that, and of course doing lemon water and always, coconut water and staying hydrated, it's really helping out. The other thing I just added as well is lymphatic massages, just to help really push everything out, both energetically and physically. So I'm very grateful that I have not had any side effects to doing this. And so that's very encouraging. And hopefully that helps anybody else out there who's maybe a little hesitant and wants to try something like this. So yeah, another awesome day. And thank you again so much for all your love and support. Remember, you can always reach out to me at roartosuccess@gmail.com. Thank you again, everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.